human behavior this evening and how best to stay in control of it. So without further ado, I am going to hand over to you, Harry.
Amazing. Thank you for having me, guys, and thank you for your time tonight. I will touch on some of the common law because with the recent announcements, it seems like it's needed at the moment, and there's been quite a lot of demand. So I'm going to have that thought on there. But as Al said, it's human behaviour tonight, and the world that we're living in at the moment, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of division within our families and our loved ones. And with that comes stress. And at the moment we are going in through a spiritual war. That's as far as I can take it. To simplify things, it's a battle versus evil and good, dark and light. But what we have got control of is ourselves. And the one thing that I'm going to give all of you guys a lot of credit for is whilst we've been going on this journey, we've been growing, we've been learning about so much. So within all the terrible stuff that's going on, we're growing. And someone said to me the other day, I'm really stressing out at the moment. All my friends have changed. A lot of my family members have changed. I said, stop being hard on yourself. They haven't changed. You have. You've changed for the better. You've left them behind because you have started learning and growing. And that is how we move forward. So within the negative stuff, there's a lot of positives to take. And what I talk about is perspective, how we turn up and take things onto our own truth. So I just wanted to just start with just talking about truth. So I'm a soul coach. And people ask, what is a soul coach? There's life coaches, there's business coaches. What's a soul coach? I move out all the excuses, all the drama, all the limiting beliefs, and I'll literally go straight to your soul. Your soul is truth. So what I really do is I speak truth. I help you come to your own truth because I call myself a sharer. I'm not a healer, I'm a sharer. I share information that you may have not had before, but this information now gives you what I would say one of the most powerful things that you can give someone else is a choice that you might not have known before. So my first question to you guys, it's a powerful one. When you're on your deathbed, what words of wisdom will you leave to the rest of the world? And I want you to just have that question lingering with you all night. And as a soul coach, I also work with people that have been told they're going to die. I work with people with terminal illnesses. So my biggest teachings for life has been when we're speaking about death. And then when we understand what death is, it's not what we've been taught. It's not what we've been conditioned. If you look at our cartoons, death is a terrible, tragic thing. All the cartoons cry, like we're conditioned to not accept death. So working with people when their back's against the wall and they've been told, you've got this many weeks to live. By the way, there's not one scientific bit of proof that someone can tell you that you've got this long to live. It's your choice of how you take that information, which then everything I'm going to teach you to lead on to what's happening at the moment. So if we pay attention now, so that question got brought up quite a few times, and people that I work with now, we ask, what words of wisdom would you leave to the rest of the world? Because when your back's against the wall and you haven't got, or you've been labelled, you haven't got much time left, there's no more ego anymore. It's purely truth. You listen to your gut feeling, you do what you want to do. Because if you don't, you're not going to live. And I can tell you 100% of the time, our clients have outlived when they've been told that they're going to die. In some cases, they have died. But that transition, they're not stuck in a hospital anymore. They've gone out doing what they wanted to. And within that whole process, there's a spiritual awakening, literally so many times. And what my biggest teachings is why do we have to wait until we're on our deathbed? Why do we have to wait till we get ill before we make that change? Why can't we just live that way now? So our words of wisdom, I learn from people who've actually lived it. And our other teachings, we can turn back the other way. where there's no ego at all. The kids are in the moment, they're being present. We can look forward to our dogs. Dogs are our biggest teachers. They show up every day, just want to have fun. They just want love. So if we look around and we start approaching life slightly differently, I guarantee our life changes. So my words of wisdom: simplify life down to a choice. So once we have a choice, that allows us to make the decision. Our life choices fall on us by taking that next step. We're not relying on someone else to make a choice for us. And by the way, guys, I'm not paying attention to the screen, so don't think I'm being rude. I will come back and answer all the questions as well. But having a choice is the most powerful thing. We've got so much going on in the world at the moment, and there's so many different rules, there's regulations, there's different opinions. It's confusing. If we just simplified it to a choice, one of those choices is going to be truth, your truth. So the first choice that we split things down into, we're spiritual beings, and one of the bits of advice, always trust in your soul. And you can search these deathbed words of wisdom on YouTube and Google. The answers are amazing. And you'll see all of it is meaningful stuff. None of it says, go and get the best car. There's a lot more simplified things to it. So the first one, trust in your soul. So we're spiritual beings, and I mentioned this is a spiritual war. So as spiritual beings, we are living a human experience. Human experience, like I said, there is death. It's inevitable. We all die. So if that is the case, instead of fearing death, oh my God, we're going to die, we're going to leave everyone behind. If we understood it, which I'm happy to share some stuff with you, you'd make the most of every bit of time you got here. And when you start realizing how special we are, like if you just think of the actual birth process and the amount of sperm that go through and only one pops out, that was you. You're definitely meant to be here. And all this then ties back into common law. It ties back into spiritual beings. Like it's all connected. This is what I love about it. So if soul is your truth, literally, if you think about soul is a feeling, it's a soulful feeling. If we go with our soul, it feels easy, it's effortless. The soul's main objective in this human experience is to know who I am, to find itself. So to know who I am, my real self, the most fulfillment that we can get out of a human experience is love, the ultimate emotion. And within love, you have every other emotion possible. And I transfer that into the color spectrum. The white has every rainbow of color in it, but white is the ultimate. So if you look at those rainbows, there might be fear, there might be anger, happiness, but love's the ultimate one. So that's what we want to reach to. And once we reach love, for me, that is in God. And God, guys, I'm not coming from a religious place. God, for me, I don't even like using the word God. I use divine. I just think it's energy. But again, it's our interpretation of it. If you reach the highest fulfillment, that means I'm God. I'm living my best life. Who can impact me? So if soul is truth, the opposite, our ego. And we can literally simplify life down to those two things. This is how we work with our clients. Let's talk ego. The little voice in your head that most is going off right now, what's he going on about? That's your ego. Your soul always speaks the truth. And I'll give you examples. When you're lying, you know you're lying. There's something inherently inside you going, you're lying. You might start sweating. Your heart starts beating. I can't get the words out of my mouth. Boris Johnson stuttering all the time. That's his soul constantly saying, you're lying, you're lying. I've seen Boris Johnson talk fluently for about half an hour, and I actually remember going, he is amazing. So I know he's lying all the way through because he's never been like that. None of us have got our trust in him. When you drop rubbish on the floor, you get that little reminder, you shouldn't have done that. That's inherent. That's your inner wisdom. That's your soul telling you. So when that soul tells you, what happens next? Ego shows itself. Shouldn't have done that. Yeah, fuck it. Carry on walking. That's your ego. You eat bad food, sod it. That's your ego. What happens after when you make a bad decision? Your soul goes, I told you shouldn't have done that. You coming out tonight? Yeah, I might do. You don't want to go. Your soul don't want to go. Yeah, I'll try to come. I hopefully might come. That means you're lying to your soul if you do go, because you didn't want to go. And if you don't go, you're lying to your mates because you said wishy-washy words like hopefully, maybe, potentially. Let's then take that when you do go and you said you didn't want to go and you wake up with the biggest hangover. Not only do you have a hangover, you're like, why have I done that now? That's your soul. If you said, I'm going out tonight and I'll just have 5 pints, and I get home and go to sleep, you wake up with a hangover, but you had 5 pints like you set out, you were true to your word, true to yourself. Does that make sense? So our soul is our truth. And like I said, soul is a feeling. So if you just quickly close your eyes for me, and I just really want to help people connect to the feeling. We live in our thoughts. We always say, get out of our head. Our head, that's ego, egotistical thoughts. Okay, I'm going to just give you simple things. You're going to find the answer with your soul. Do you trust Boris Johnson? It's obvious, right? That's your truth. Okay? Focus on no corruption, freedom, togetherness, no 9 to 5. Think vaccines. Think COVID pandemic, lockdowns. And just quickly open your eyes for me. Can you feel the difference when they say the different words? When it feels easy, that's your soul. There's no doubt about it. There's no question at all. Have you heard the saying, live life with the least resistance? That resistance is energy. If there's a slight bit of resistance, a slight bit of, oh, I'm not sure, I don't trust that person, there's something inside me, that's your soul letting you know. If you go with that, though, against it, oh, sod it, they'll be all right. I'll give them another chance. They won't do it this time. They've said they've changed. That's your ego. So what I help people do is you have to use your thoughts. This is ego, thoughts. We've got a thunderstorm. There's a lot going on. We have about 80,000 a day at the moment. Imagine being on Telegram. You're getting all these crazy thoughts. But your human experience, every part of your experience comes from your senses, your 5 senses. Guess what? Your thoughts aren't part of your senses. So get out your head. Your soulful feelings, your 5 senses, your true experience. So observe your thoughts, but notice the feeling. If it feels right, go with it. If it doesn't, ask more questions. And if you still can't get your answer, that's not your truth. That's when you come back to your truth and say no. To show you the truth as well, because this is the 3 key things. And I'll come back onto the choices in a minute. I think this is important. We think something, we feel something, or believe something. It's only when it's a knowing that when it becomes your truth. And there's so many people that they believe, but when I speak to them, I know that's their knowing. If you just put faith in yourself and go with that as a knowing, look at this jumper. It's blue. That's my knowing. It's blue. I don't even need to think about it. It's blue. So now that's my knowing. You can tell me it's red. You can tell me that I've been wrong about my colours before. You told me that I've got a really bad memory and I'm just stupid conspiracy theory. You can tell me whatever, but I know it's blue. Like, I'm just thinking, God, they're crazy. Throw that back at you now, guys. What's your knowing with this vaccine, with this pandemic? That's your knowing. So that's your knowing. The resistance comes when you then react to how other people perceive it. That's not when you say your truth, it's not your responsibility to deal with other people's. And I literally make all my decisions now based on my feeling. And I will literally sit there and I trust it. Every right decision you make is a soulful one. And every wrong decision you make and every bad one's an egotistical one. So we can simplify life down to ego and soul. So if I said these words, if we just said ego, yeah, you said the key word, Dan, intuition. So people that are not spiritual, I just said that's your intuition. That's your gut feeling. It's still there. And everyone in the corporate world knows what ego is. So if you talk about ego and everyone's got an ego, that means there's definitely a soul there too. So we are spiritual beings. Can't get out of that. Okay, so just with the words then, I just want you to think, where would it go? Ego or soul? Remember truth, full fulfillment, love, you deserve it. That's who we are. Grow and protect. Where would they fall under?
Soul.
Grow and then protect. Either or, we got one of each, they're opposites.
All right.
What would be a soulful?
Grow would be soul.
Mm-hmm. Simple to put it. What about love or fear?
Fear is definitely ego, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And love is soul.
Mm-hmm.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive.
Okay, let me just show you now. This is how simple we can get our life now. Second bit of advice. Always strive to grow. Whenever we're in a growth state, we're succeeding. And when we're succeeding, we can't be failing. Can't be doing two at the same thing. So again, expand our life out, the human experience, and make the most of every single bit of it. Put goals out there and work towards it, but do the growing. Then you can't be going wrong. Okay, so I like to simplify life even more as a soul coach. Spirituality to me is simplifying life so people can make a decision. Let's go down to the cellular level. If I pull one cell out of the human body, just one, in that cell I can tell everything about you. Your makeup, your DNA, your hair color, your personality, everything. In that one cell, we always say that our brain controls it. That cell has its own brain. Every cell in your body is your soldiers. You're the commander of it though. This is what people don't realize. So in that cell, I put in a petri dish and I put some food in there. By the end of the day, that cell makes its way towards the food. If I put the same cell in a petri dish and I put poison ivy in there, that cell, by the end of the day, moves away from the poison ivy. It knows, it's inherent. So the soul's two main responsibilities, grow or protect. That's it. So when we're in a protect state, that's our fear state. And I want to show you how that works then internally with our body. Because once you understand that, then you have a choice. What am I doing right now? Am I growing or am I protecting? Okay, next question. How do I change it? You take control of your life again. So you've heard of your energy centers and chakras. These are, let's call them your vital organs. It's literally coming through here. This is where we get all our information. We're tapped in. When we're in harmony, our body's working functionally well. That's grow. We're in grow, flow, same thing. When we're in that fear state, what happens is the fear is perceived through here. Whatever we feed the brain, the body responds to it. It doesn't know what fear is. It's just you're the commander. You've told it it's fear. So you could be running away from a tiger. You could be just looking at COVID on BBC News. Doesn't know the difference. But what happens when we go into a fear state? Imagine you was running for a tiger. The body's like, right, fight or flight. It sends your blood, which is just in harmony, to your limbs. So to your arms and to your legs, as if you was to run. And this is a known fact. This epigenetics is what I studied. And if you was to run in that fear state, if we're living in a fear state constantly, your body's just sending all its blood, all its nutrients, all its energy force away from your natural healing centers. To go one deeper in that, to show you the difference in epigenetics as well. So they say that we're told that a lot of our illnesses are hereditary. Oh, my family members, they all got diabetes, or they've all got cancer. It runs in the family. Heart conditions. That's a myth. Only 5% and be passed on. Only 5%. Our cells we can change, and it's the environment that influences them, the internal and external. So when people do get the same illnesses as their family, what hasn't changed is the environment, the external environment, the beliefs, the words that the parents are using, the social circles that you're hanging around in. It's influence, so we can change it. Again, we have to become aware of it first. So they took Bruce Lipton, I got this stuff from, and really worth looking at. There's a book called The Honeymoon Effect for couples out there. You stay in your honeymoon phase all the way through. It's amazing when you're present. So he did a study on 2 birds, and the DNA was exactly the same. But one bird had a bit bigger arms, different size head. DNA was exactly the same, but there was a massive difference between the 2. And said the only thing that was different was the environment when they're born. So before one bird was flying around freely, the mum. The other bird was in a place where it was dangerous. It was always in a protect state. So have a guess what bird had the bigger arms? Protect. So it works on every level of animals too. And you could clearly see it. So when we're going through life now and our actions, again, this spiritual war comes back to us as the individual. We've seen it. We've all independently have to say no. That's the hardest part. We always rely on other people, but it takes that bit to go, no more. For me, that's my truth now. So your actions, are you in growth phase or a protect phase right now? And if you find yourself, right, I'm going to protect, how would I change it? Coming onto workshops like that, you're growing, you're learning. So I would encourage that. A lot of people say, I'm wasting so much time on all this stuff. No, you're not. You're learning, you're growing. This is for the greater good. This is awareness that you didn't have before. But have faith that good is coming, which it definitely is, and we can come on to later as well. But if it is good, if good is definitely coming, and there's a lot to look forward to, we might as well focus on ourselves and get ourselves to full capacity to then take on this new world. So the next bit of advice, and one of my favorite ones, meet everyone with love. As we said, the soul's fulfillment in the human experience is full fulfillment to know itself, reaching love, the highest emotion. What's the opposite of love? Fear. What are we consumed of all the time at the moment? You can see it. Fear is an unconscious state too. When we go into that protect state, that's still fear state. So internally, same thing. If you can meet everyone with love, that starts from within. Loving yourself. Focus on the areas of your life to enhance yourself. Your soul will love you for doing that. Your body will love you for doing that. It's mind, body, soul. We've got to work with all of them individually, and collectively they work better. So whenever we're going now meeting the resistance, we already know our truth. That's our soul. The truth is coming up. Just know that. That's the one bit of advice that it stuck with me, and it's helped me ever since. When I realized there was good people at the top, and ever since I've been following that, my whole life changed because I accepted that bit, and that's my knowing now. And I can show you countless of different bits to get to that part. It's a whole journey. But once you know that and have the faith that bit, then your life becomes a lot easier. You make the decisions knowing that things are going to get good, knowing that I'm in control of what I can control of. And yeah, there is paedophiles in the world. There is all this corruption here. There is all this stuff that I can't do anything about that. I can make people aware of it. I can learn how they've done it, but I'm not going to let it put me in a fear state. So ask yourself, what would love do right now? It's a question. Wherever you go through life, you get in an argument, you catch yourself. What would love do right now? And there's your soulful answer then. And if we know that love always falls under soul, what would love do? What would grow do? What would positivity do? Make sense? Okay. And whenever you meet anyone with love, like my smile, since I told you I found good stuff is happening, you can go back from my page. It's a natural smile now. Like I enjoy my life. I'm growing all the time. I can't have anything else come at me. If what you put out comes back, that's all I put out, love. And yeah, I do get caught into drama straight away, but I catch myself. It's the same thing, like this is the human experience. We are allowed to go into these emotions. But I think if you're aware of it, we can go in, get that experience of pain for a bit, then come out again. I've experienced that now. I don't need to let it eat me away and that person's done that and hold on. Going back to the people dying, the most important thing is protecting their energy. Can't be wasting energy when you need it to heal. So holding on to these stories and having these disagreements with people and getting aggressive with people on social media, you're wasting your energy. There's no need. So again, what would love do right now? Which then falls into my favorite part. Every thought that we have is the first initiator. We can choose all the thoughts. We've already established there's bad and good thoughts. So I just call them thoughts. I get to choose. The next phase to that is the words that come out your mouth. You get that choice. So one of the advice was be positive. Just be positive. The positivity for me starts with the words that come out of our mouth. I dive deep into the English language, especially looking into common law, legalese. And when you start seeing how the words are put together, it's not just the meaning of it, what I want to explore tonight. It's the influence it has on your nervous system. It's a vibration. And did you know there's over 100 words for deception in the English language? Go and look it up. There's 100 words to deceive. For the Eskimos, there's only around 30 words for snow. So it just shows you the level of deception that we put. So I turn it into a knowing now. I know that the English language was there to deceive. But from a nervous system aspect as well, the words that we use influence that fear state, that protect state, just from the words. So here's my philosophy. Every word in the English language, there's a negative, an opposite, a positive. So I can choose what words come out of my mouth. My philosophy is, if I only use positive words, can I be a negative person? You can meet me with negativity, I turn it around and I throw a positive word at you. But I want to take it down just to normal words that we use, because you'll realize how much you say these without even realizing. So quickly, just show you the power of words. Again, close your eyes for me. Don't think of the tiger. Don't think of the tiger. What do you think about? Okay, let me just give you other examples. Don't give up. Don't give in. Never forget. Forget. Give in. Give up. We throw these negative words in there. The nervous system doesn't know meaning, remember, it's a vibration. We meet negative people, we feel their energy. What they put out comes back. So imagine the words that they pick up on. Give up, never, can't. So if we're trying to influence people with change, we need to meet them with positive words. Because amongst all the mumbo jumbo, they only pick up the ones that they're vibrating on. So when you're in a conversation now, you'll catch yourself. Always remember. Don't give up. Keep going. People are very quick to tell you what you haven't done right and what you're not doing right. They'll get a whole list of it, but it's easy to find the things that you're not doing right. Tell me what I am doing right. In your case, you might be speaking with your friends and they tell you, how's your week been? They tell you all the worst things possible that's happened in the week. Stop them. Tell me what's good's happened in life. And again, for all you guys from the COVID pandemic last 18 months, tell me all the bad things. I bet some of your lists are horrendous. What good things have happened? I guarantee if you gave it time, you'll find some amazing stuff with nights like this too. So positive words, pay attention, always find the opposite. The second part to it, I told you I've been on a spiritual journey too, and this is a spiritual war. But what happens is we have these spiritual moments. A lot of you, I'm guessing, has had a lot of synchronicity recently. We have godlike moments, ghost-like moments, present moments. But what do we do when we have these moments? We deny it with our words. That was unreal. That was unbelievable. That was mad. That was crazy. The divine's like, no, that was real. You felt it. That was as believable as it could be. You deny it with your own words first. You don't trust in what you experienced because you're thinking about it. Well, that couldn't be real. Or I worry about what mum's going to say and think I'm nuts. Thought. What was your feeling? And if we tapped into our feelings more, when that hair does stand on the back of our neck, yeah, that most probably is a loved one that's there. When your dogs do bark, yes, that's mostly a loved one there. Look out for the signs. And guys, I say this confidently because I've had these experiences now. And not only that, some of our clients have visited us when they died. Like full recounts of it, stories that you can't make up. Again, my truth. And I'm confident that now with my truth is my knowing. It happened to me. So being confident with the words that you use as well, yeah, that was real. Not incredible, it was credible. Play around with it, but you'll realize how quickly you go to a negative word without even thinking about that. So being aware of it, the moment you catch yourself, poof, you know, you put a bit of positivity into that conversation. They don't need to know, but you know. Catching yourself, you're like, oh, I did it again. Oh, that's a sign of progression. That's awareness. You're never going to get things right straight away. But now you know it's your fault if you choose not to. That's where your suffering comes if you choose not to. So we can go back through all of those things. Ego or soul? First of all, with ego, you're going to get objections. You're going to get limiting beliefs. You're going to get your past experiences. You're going to get your self-doubt. You're going to get opinions of other people. That's all ego. Ego always comes. When you're unconscious, you go into that drama. When you are conscious, you're present. When you're present, you've got that choice again. Okay, let me look at these ego things. All the made-up future you put in. If I don't do this, that's going to happen. List them all out. Now go around each one of them. What did my soul say? What is truth to that one? Oh, yeah, I don't need to worry about that. Get that one. Your answer will come if you take the time to do it. So trust in your soul. Grow and protect. Simplify it to the cellular level. What am I doing right now? Okay, if I'm in that protective state, what's my next step? Tomorrow, I'm going to meditate when I get up. Tomorrow, I'm going to write a list out of exactly what I'm going to do. That's growing. As simple as that to start with. You have that choice. Fear or love? What would love do right now? And then the words, positive or negative. And each one of those guys, positive, negative, there's always a choice, right? The moment you've asked that question, you're present. Now your soul can pick what I want, or your ego can go with it. But your soul will tell you, as soon as you go with as soon as you go with your soul, that's truth. That is truth. So you go with it, and you will never be wrong. That's as simple as it can get. So when you get to that bit, you can now say no. And no is not a negative word. You can also say yes. Both of those are a soulful answer if you're going with the soul. No, I'm not going there today. Simple. Not might do, hopefully, maybe. No. Or if you're going to do something, yeah, I might do. Or hopefully, I will. Or I want to do this. You want to? Or you will do. You will not say will, because that's a commitment if you won't do it. I had a lady, when I used to do personal training, a lady come in, and there was a promo on, month worth of sessions for a cost. So how many times a week are you going to come in? Yeah, I might come 5 times a week. I went, you might do? So change it to will. And she couldn't say it. Her soul wouldn't let her lie. She knew that she wouldn't be able to do 5 times a week. So she couldn't say it. And that's where we can pull people up on their words. Anyone trying to sell to you now, it might do. But you'll try. Call them out, Nick. What you will. and they have to do it. Catch them out on it and catch yourself too, because it comes back to being true to your words. Don't say something if you don't want to do it. And again, no one can argue with how you feel. So tell them how you feel. No one can argue with your feelings. They can disagree with your thoughts. What do you think about that? I'll tell you what I feel about it. And that's your truth there. So yes or no is your soulful choice, which then leads you down to the two most powerful words. I am. And you're present with the words I am. Whatever follows is your truth. And I want you guys to really pay attention to this. I am is the two most powerful words. But yet we always add something else on. How are you feeling? I am tired. I'm stressed. I'm hungover. Like I said, your cells listen to you. Stressed. Hungover. Ugh. Tired. Go to sleep. You become that until you say something else. And this is where you manifest the words that you say. Your mantras. I am. And then double layer it. I'm forever healthy. I'm forever happy. And when you catch yourself saying, I am, what did I say? I am dyslexic. That's what I had the other day. No, you're not. No, you've labeled yourself. What is dyslexic? Think about it. What is it? It's a title you've given it, and it has a meaning to what you've done. That's what you become. This is one that's going to blow your mind as well. If I ask you to think of a 70-year-old man, what image do you have in your head? I just want you to think about the image. What about an 80-year-old man? Okay, so we have two sort of images. Did any of you think of a man with a six-pack? Full on health. Okay, I've got one here. What happens though when people say your age? Like, first words, how old are you? I am 70. But what's 70? It's the image that you put on a 70-year-old. That's what you become when you say, I am 70. And it really hit me because when I was learning Portuguese, they don't say, how old are you? They say, how many years do you have? And the answer is, I have 30 years. So it's not you anymore. So let's change it. How young are you? I'm 40 years young. I'm 33 years young. You have the choice of the words that you use. Your body follows. And you can literally stop the aging process if you tell your body that you're young and you love it. And I am strong. I am growth. I am love. I am soul. So that's simplifying life down to a choice. And hopefully that's given you a bit more insights then on things that we're always in control of. We control what thoughts go into our head in terms of what we're picking. Amongst all the crazy thoughts, I have a soulful one. I can choose the words that come out to my mouth. I can choose how I show up, and I can choose my energy around other people. And you can take that into many other areas. Harry, please teach me Portuguese. Eu falo pouco. Any questions on that, guys?
When you